Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one, it is time to go over some update news. We've got a bunch to go over, and it's seriously going to be a ton of fun. And I'm talking about the possibility of maybe the Zapotron coming back in the future. We'll go over that. A certain style or variant for Zenith that was hinted at by Fortnite but isn't in the game currently, as well as a bunch of other stuff like when the next update is going to be coming out and things like that. So it is going to be a very fun video. We've got a bunch to go over. I mean, I love doing these update videos, so yeah. And by the way guys, thanks to all of you who have been using my supported creator code in the item shop, and shout out to these people on screen for tweeting me a picture of them using my creator code. As you guys know, randomly I sometimes choose people that tweet me a picture of them using my code and put their Twitter names in a video, but thanks to all of you who have been using my code, I appreciate it a ton. And also guys, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit that like button down below if you're excited for new update stuff, and comment what you think of the unvaulted limited time mode. That's what the gameplay is for today. I personally like it a ton, but I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. But first of all, let's jump into it with some sort of breaking news. Actually, this is a pretty big thing that's going to happen, and it has to do with the 14 Days of Fortnite event and like items. And if you guys missed out on unlocking some of the items, this will definitely be for you. It's actually pretty interesting here, and I guess it's not like super breaking news. This was announced yesterday, but yeah, it's still pretty important because it has to do with the challenges actually coming back for a bit of time. So yeah, first of all, as you guys know, the event ended a little bit ago, and there was some confusion about like when the exact end date would be. We talked about how there was one rumored date and then another date based on like when the in-game timer seemed to end at, but there was never really like a clear end date that was announced. So yeah, apparently they will be bringing back the challenges, but as you guys may have already known, they made one initial announcement about this, and that was that they were going to give the equalizer glider, which I believe is the final reward for like the day 14, to anybody who had completed a challenge during the 14 days. I'm not exactly sure if that was already given out, but either way, they made an announcement on the 4th, and basically within this announcement, one of the things they said was that after further discussion, we've decided to bring back this event early next week through January 15 at 3 a.m. Eastern time. So that is right, the challenges will be coming back, and now we have a date of when you'll be able to complete them by. But basically that means that you will be able to complete the challenges if you happen to not be able to complete some of them. Like, I know my friend was on vacation, so he didn't have a lot of time to get these challenges done. I don't even know if he completed any of them. But yeah, with that being said, they say early next week, and this is actually a decent amount of time to get these challenges done, because early next week could be like, I don't know, Monday the 7th, Tuesday the 8th, even Wednesday the 9th. Again, they weren't specific, they just said early next week. But since it's through January 15th, say they started it back up on Tuesday the 8th, that would give us a week to redo challenges that we haven't completed. And again, that's just a guess of when it might start. We don't know officially quite yet. Now, they also went on to say something else, but that kind of ties into another update thing, so we'll circle around back to that. But they do add that progress on partially completed challenges has to be reset, so you may have to redo them, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. Now, that also begs the question if like the entire event in its technicality will be redone, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah guys, then after that, let's talk about something that has to do with Zenith. As I said in the intro, there's a certain clue that you can see, and it's actually on the loading screen for the game, that points towards maybe a separate variant for Zenith that we don't currently have. So that then begs the question, is this variant going to maybe be released in the future? Is it a scrapped variant, meaning it will never be released and we may never ever see it? I don't exactly know, but it's still very interesting overall. So first of all guys, thanks to Gurbud on Reddit for pointing this out. It's definitely an interesting find, but if you want to see this yourself, again, it's in the loading screen for Fortnite when you load up the game. But if you take a look at the plane there and take a look where Zenith is, you will see that his visor is red. Now, whenever I looked at this didn't stick out because personally I haven't unlocked all of the variants for Zenith, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people haven't. But if you take a look at the different color styles, there is no red option. I mean, within his color styles for the visor, you've got purple, orange, blue, and green, which is sort of like a mint green, but there is no red. I guess the closest one would maybe be purple, but still, if you compare them side to side, they definitely look different. The one in the loading screen does look more red. Could have just been some weird, thing that had to do with the coloring, I don't know. But it's also possible this could have been a style that was planned and then scrapped, or maybe we'll eventually get this style in the game in the future. It's hard to say, but it is definitely an interesting thing to talk about because it is in the loading screen and a lot of us haven't noticed it. So yeah guys, I thought that was pretty cool, but let's go ahead and move on to the next thing I want to go over, and this is when we can expect the next update and like what the next update is going to be generally like the size wise. We don't know what's going to be in it, but we've gotten some general details from like Mr. Popo TFS TFS and stuff like that. So yeah, the next update, we were a little bit confused about like when they would get back to going back to normal updates on like Tuesdays, and they would generally be like, you know, big updates. We've been on patch 7.10 for a while now, and that's due to, you know, the holidays and stuff like that. So it has been a little bit off, but I think we're getting back on track. So according to Mr. Popo TFS, the next update will be on Tuesday, but it will likely not be like a huge update from what I can tell. I'm pretty sure it'll be similar to the previous 2 content updates we've had, because specifically he says the 3rd and final content update for V7.10 is on this coming Tuesday, which means, guys, that is on January 8th. So yeah, it's not going to be a huge update since it is still V7.10, and the content updates, as we've had with the previous 2, since he says this is the 3rd one, obviously it's going to be around the same size as that most likely. Now what that could mean, since we got the boombox and also the presents within the previous 2 updates, I'm assuming we'll get some sort of new item in this one, just as a guess. But yeah, on top of that, since it's coming out on Tuesday, I expect, you know, the Tuesday after that to be an update where we finally move on from V7.10, but we'll have to wait and see about that. But yeah, there's going to be some interesting stuff, so I'm excited to see what's going to be in it. After that then, guys, let's talk a little bit about changes to the map. As you guys know, we've been covering the changes with like Polar Peak and the iceberg shrinking and stuff over there. It revealed like dragon eggs, and if you want to know the info about that, it's on one of my previous videos on the channel. But yeah, this one doesn't really have to do with Polar Peak. It's something that I just noticed with actually a separate area of the map that's not at Polar Peak. Actually, it's actually at a different part, and you may have seen this area in some of my other videos, but it's this island over here. That's right, guys, this little island is actually changing around a little bit. So basically, I was taking a look at this area and noticed that it did look a bit different, and as you guys are seeing in this footage, maybe it looks a little bit different to you. So I looked back at some footage that I had from a while ago. I think it was actually like around December 9th, around that date. But as you can see in like this screenshot right here, it definitely looks a lot different. But take a note at like the snow right here and this piece of the ice. As you can see, there's like a little bit of a notch right there, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, recently I just went into the game and took a picture of this, and comparing them side by side, you can see that it is definitely changing. Now, I don't know if the piece of ice itself is shrinking. It seems to be more the snow around it that is actually revealing more of this ice itself. So that by itself is just very interesting. Like, here's another comparison right here, but it is definitely changing, so that's something to take note of. But yeah, guys, let's keep it going here with the next thing I want to talk about, and that is the possibility of the Zapotron maybe returning in the future. Now, I say it's a possibility because as of right now, it is just a possibility. It's not confirmed or anything like that, but I did want to bring this up because, you know, it is possible that it could maybe be returning because of this thing. So basically, this has to do with the unvaulted LTM. As you guys know, that is a mode that has brought back a bunch of vaulted weapons like smoke grenades, the suppressed SMG, stuff like that. It's brought them back into a limited time mode, and it has been a ton of fun. Now, recently, Mr. Popo TFS made a post about this mode on Reddit, and there was some interesting stuff about that. The first of which is that they were going to bring revolvers into this mode, but apparently they ran into some complications and weren't able to add it. So that is a little bit unfortunate. I mean, the revolver wasn't my favorite weapon, but it was fun to use, so, you know. However, that's not really the part I want to talk about. He then goes on to say, if this mode returns at some point in the future, it's possible you may see even more variety of unvaulted weapons and items. So also with that, I'm assuming the current unvaulted LTM won't be around for too much longer. And on top of that, he also asks, what would you want to see? Now, personally, if I were to answer that question, I would say the Zapotron. And if you guys don't know what the Zapotron is, it was like this crazy weapon that was released for a short period of time, a really short period of time, I believe like way back when. And apparently it was like really good. But obviously I was not the only one that wanted the Zapotron back. If you look through the comments replying to this, a lot of people were asking for the Zapotron to be one of the items to be brought back. So again, nothing is confirmed yet, but we know that Epic Games does listen to the community quite a bit. And wouldn't it be very fun to have this item come back in the unvaulted LTM? I know that would be a ton of fun. I would play that a bunch, and I've already been playing this mode a bunch. I do enjoy it quite a bit. But yeah, I would say it's a possibility. Now, there is the question of whether or not this item was truly vaulted because it's, you know, it was barely even available, but I don't know if that exactly matters. I think they could bring it back, so we'll have to wait and see, but I do think that would be pretty cool. Then, guys, for the final thing I want to talk about in this video of like some update news and stuff like that, this has to do with game modes, or specifically limited time modes. And this is also wrapping around a bit to that thing that had to do with the 14 Days of Fortnite. But yeah, basically it appears that they're going to be re-enabling a bunch of the LTMs that were available during the original original 14 Days of Fortnite event, or like the original time period of it. Now, the first little bit of info about this was in that update on the 14 Days of Fortnite and them bringing back the challenges, but they said there that we'll also be enabling some of the most popular limited time modes that were available during the event, which definitely sounds pretty fun. There was a lot of good modes that came out then. On top of that, there was a comment made by Epic Dusty Devo on Reddit, and he said that Team Rumble, which is in the game currently, is likely to stay on for a while. So yeah, guys, gotta love those limited time modes. But other than that, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more update news videos coming out in the near future. On top of that, you can check out some of my previous videos here, such as on the left, my week 5 challenges guide, and then on the right, another update news video if you want to catch up on that stuff. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.